My favor will increase in your life, the Father declares today, whenever there is an increase in the amount of trouble. The issues that you are experiencing right now are mine to solve, says the Father. Therefore, pay attention to what I have to say and continue to be at peace with me. Despite the fact that there will be many people who rise up against you, I am your protection and your sturdy tower. I have left my peace with you for precisely this kind of moment. Despite the fact that there are many people who believe that you are the cause of this difficulty and who think that God will not assist you, you should know that I am your helper. Your name is Comforter, and my name is Helper. I promise that I will never abandon you or leave you behind. Myself is your defense. Raise your head toward the heavens, for the splendor that is upon me is all around you. Cry out to me with your voice, for I will answer you from the top of my holy hill, and you will not be scared even though 10,000 people have gathered around you to oppose you. With the words of the Father, salvation belongs to me, and my benediction is upon your head. Your adversaries will be struck down, and the mouth that speaks haughty things will be silenced. Today, Father assures me that I will listen to you whenever you call. Because your righteousness is of me, I will hear you when you call, and you are in no way excluded from the outpouring of the riches of heaven to meet every need in your life. I will hear you when you call. It is important that you do not become disheartened when challenges arise, because you did not ask me for an expansion. I increase the size of my children when they are in a state of sorrow, and I increase the amount of my pity when they are engaged in conflict. During the time that the battle is raging and the war is raging, do not think that you have somehow missed my will. In my reign, I will bring about the eradication of the humiliation that has been heaped upon you by other people, as well as the ridicule that has been directed toward you by those who have rejected who you are. I want you to know that I have chosen you to be an example of me on this particular day. In the same way that you are imitating my nature and my character, I will support every word that you say and widen every stride that you take. I will hear you when you call. In spite of the fact that there are individuals who believe that you have not heard my voice, you have not missed my will altogether. Seek my face on a daily basis while you are in bed and communicating with your heart. You will hear my voice reverberating in the silence that exists between your own thoughts, and it will affirm each and every choice that you bring to the table. In exchange for nothing else, I ask that you have faith in the blood that was shed at Calvary. I will raise the light of your countenance and give you joy that is above anything that a human being could possibly hope. I will do this because you have faith in the blood that was shed on your behalf. According to the Father, this is your hour, and in the middle of the fight, you will come into rest, and you will see my kingdom established beyond all of your hopes and ambitions. In this day and age, the Father encourages you to not be afraid when difficulties arise in your life. When the number of people who cause you trouble increases and the intensity of their attacks increases, there is no reason to become anxious. Despite the fact that many people may abandon you, you should know that I will never abandon you and I will never run away from you. You can always count on me to be working for you. The extent of the attack that is being launched against you is merely a measurement of the benefits and blessings that are going to be poured down from my throne in order to snuff out every fiery dart that the adversary is attempting to throw at you. There is no need to feel helpless or at the mercy of people, situations, or any challenge that may come up against you, because the Father says, I am your helper. Therefore, there is no need to feel those things. The adversary may charge at you with all of his might, but he will be shattered into pieces by the shield of my glory that surrounds you. Your cries have been heard by me, and I will respond to them as soon as I can. Do not let yourselves become disheartened, says the Father, and lift up the hands that are hanging down. You are going to lie down and sleep in the midst of the assaults that the adversary is launching against you, and your slumber will be pleasant because I am going to keep you up and sustaining you throughout each and every battle. Know that salvation has arrived, know that salvation is mine, know that I am in you and you are in me, and know that your rescue is almost here. Listen and know that salvation has come. Do not be afraid of man, circumstance, or any of the things that you see rising up on earth, because you are safely covered in my tent, and the destruction of evil that was brought against you in such a blatant and foolish manner will only be visible to you through your eyes. It is at this very moment that my hand of deliverance will become visible in your life. You are the recipient of my most pronounced blessing, as the Father has stated. According to the Father, I will bless you in such a way that others will be envious of the favor that I bestow upon you from my hand by blessing you so openly. Your life is undergoing transformation as a result of my kindness, which is also responsible for bringing about change within you and bringing you into alignment with my plans and purposes for the globe. There will be no further harm, no further obstruction, and no further limitations, the Father declares. According to the Father, I am not discouraged, and as a result, you will not be discouraged either. Due to the fact that I am not impeded, you will not be impeded either. As a result of the fact that I am not constrained, nor will you be restricted. By my hand, I have granted you this privilege, and the sacrifice of the blood that was shed on the cross has paid for it. Put yourself in a position to break free from limitations, lack, and disappointment. From point forward, you will no longer be putting your face into the glass of the blessing of another person. I will bring you to my table, and I will make it so that you can share of the bounty that it has to offer. I will make it known to you that you are my beloved, my blessed ones, and those upon whom my favor will rest. You will know and be known as such. It is now time to stop the effort. That which was sought after will be placed at your feet, and it will be made evident not via the backbreaking demands of performance-based religion, but rather through the blood-bought entitlement of a son and a daughter of God. Your way of thinking and your expectations should be adjusted to reflect this reality, because you will not be let down in any way. Every single area that you plant your foot is something that I have provided to you, according to the Father. You should go out and make sure that you fulfill the promise that I made to you. Not merely lease, not merely rent, but rather possess property for the purposes of my glory and my purposes. The acreage, the homes, and the venues that are ordained to the progress of my kingdom are waiting for you to begin to believe in me. That my people should be inheritors rather than merely tenants on the planet is something that I have ordained. I will move to give you permanency and to anchor you in that which will not and cannot be taken away from you, declares the Father of upheaval and uncertainty, and I will do this during this season. By making this vow, you are committing to being a lender rather than a borrower. Increase your level of anticipation. Trust me for the things that I am the only one who can do. With the intention of making the improbable, the implausible, and the impossible come to pass in your life, there is a committee in the skies that has been assembled to find ways and means to do this. In the earth and in the heavenlies, I take great pleasure in affirming and confirming that you are my beloved, and I also take great pleasure in giving you with everything that the resources of heaven are able to bring closer to you. The Father has already stated that your foot will stand on my faithfulness, and He has said this right away. Today, the Father has revealed to you that I am leading you to a more profound level of closeness with me. As the bridegroom, I will bring you closer to myself so that you can know and experience me as the lover of your soul. Not only will you be familiar with the words that I use, but I will also bring you closer to myself in the same way that I bring the bride to themselves. As the Father says, I do not refer to you as a widow or an orphan, rather, I refer to you as a bride. In my capacity as a bride, I take great pleasure in you and dress you in the most exquisite garments so that I can display you to myself as a pristine and honorable companion. The Father says, I call you friend, because Abraham was my covenant friend, and since covenant friendship is your share, I call you friend. I have made it possible for you to receive everything that the Father has given to me, and I have done so not through religious performance or expectation, but rather through the effectiveness of the blood that was shed on the cross. Say to your soul of this day, I am an entitled one, the blood of Jesus makes it so. Say to your soul of this day, I am the healed one, the blood of Jesus makes it so. Say to your soul of this day, I will not strive or attempt to work for that which is freely given, He is the lover of my soul. This is the new day from the Father. It was dawning, sure, 2,000 years ago, but it is still rising over your life every day in a way that is renewed and new. A fresh day has begun. Out of the loneliness and rejection that you have experienced, I bring you to the new life and promise that I have willingly and so freely given to you. You should not be concerned with what a man might say or do in order to mistreat you or rob you. A robbery will not occur to you. Under this sun, you will be able to fully benefit from everything that my love has to offer, since I am guarding, defending, and loving you to the fullest extent possible. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, I will give a rod of iron to the one who triumphs. The nations will beat themselves to shivers upon the rock upon which I will establish you, declares the Father. I will establish you. You are not going to be moved. You will not be relocated in any way. I will not deprive you of your rights, since I am with you to both will and to do what I deem to be in your best interest. Those who are pessimistic about the future have witnessed some things, and they would run away to the mountains and the barren areas on earth. Will you, in fact, look to the hills, from which you will receive assistance? Is it not true that I am also the God of the valley? Is it not true that I am the God of the inner city as well as the pasturelands of the continent? Do not be afraid, says the Father. In times of adversity, you won't need to be afraid, since I am your rock and your strong protection. My power is in your hands at this moment. You are the staff of your dominion, and the rod of my power is the staff. In the same way that I placed Adam on earth to subjugate and have dominion, I have placed you in your life to go forth having dominion and to conquer. There is not a single one of my children who will kneel down in fear in front of guys. In the same way that I stood before Pilate and he judged himself based on his own statements, I stand with you today, says the Father, and I will judge for you in the courts of heaven. Take a look up. Do not gaze at the utter darkness that has descended upon the people, rather, have a look at the daybreak that I have spread across the mountains in your favor. It is not the case that the sky is falling, says the Father, the kingdom is on its way, and that is indeed good news for you. In today's message, the Father asserts that all wealth can be traced back to my comprehension. For me, intelligence is not merely the possessions I possess, rather, it is who I am. I am your wisdom. Solomon is credited with saying, money answers all things, and wisdom answers all things. However, the mastery of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those who find it. My wisdom serves as the spiritual medium of exchange for both my substance and your provision. My sustenance is brought about by my wisdom. Accept that life is yours. Make sure you get that material. It is important to take it in and make space for it on the inside of you. Will you think with my ideas or with the thinking of man, which are limited in their understanding of the senses? Reject the absence of. I suffered all of those things on the cross so that you could walk as a king in the land. Reject sickness, sadness, limitation, and grief. I experienced all of those things. Today, you must defy those who are ruling and reigning. It is now time to begin ruling and reigning. The attitude of ruling that is built not in false confidence but in what I did for you on the cross of Calvary is the one that you should enter into now. It is not my intention to encourage you to engage in the phony bravado of whistling through the cemetery. Now is the time for you to walk in the resurrection and life that I am to you. I am asking you to do so. Are you able to provide an answer right now? At this point, you will discover what it was that you had thought I would accomplish for you back then. I am the God of the present moment, and the grace that I am pouring into your life is the grace of the present moment. To choose now to experience everything that I have awarded you in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ is the patience of the saints. Allow this day to come to you from my hand, says the Father. Take in my image and likeness, and allow yourself to be converted into it. Finding the kingdom that I have placed inside you is what the Father instructs you to do today. The Father is the foundation of the kingdom that resides inside you. Get yourself influenced by me today, even if it's just by the power of my voice. It is I who is speaking to you and introducing myself to you. I am the voice that has the ability to communicate in the void that exists between your own minds. Both you and I are a part of each other, and together we form a single entity. That is the price that was paid by the cross. We are a single entity. And just as I am, you are also present on earth. It is not true that I am ill. It is not true that I am poor. Because of this, I am the source of your provisioning and the health of your countenance. Have you some faith in this? Please accept it as the reality that the Father has revealed to you, and permit the person that I am on the inside of you to serve as both your bread and your life for the day. The Father has stated that He will not be rejected, and as a result, you will not be denied either. As a result of the fact that I will not be delayed, you will also not be delayed. The Father adds, do you realize that time cannot deny you any more than it can deny me? Do you realize this? It is in the person of my Son that I have taken the very best that heaven has to offer and given it to you. Is there anything else that I could possibly refuse to give you? Please come now, says the Father, and think with my mind rather than the mind that is limited by religious considerations. As a result of the fact that I am not limited, there are no limitations within me. Were you not already a part of me? Are you in me, and am I in you? Let's settle this right now. The question therefore is, where is poverty? What is the lack of? Why is there a delay? Denial is where it is. The Father states that if you enter into this fundamental truth, then everything that pertains to life and godliness will be added to you. The Father has spoken to us today, saying, I know what you need, and that is to stop worrying. This day, we have come to an agreement that we will stop worrying and go forward into a new realm of progress that I have reserved for you. Your way, your truth, and your life are all in me. This is a fresh day, as the Father has spoken. When it comes to manipulation and desperation, the strings and pulleys will no longer be effective. Now is the time for you to make a beeline for me. You must leap over the edge of faith and enter into the embrace of my everlasting loving presence. I have made available to you the resource of my person, and from who I am, every barrier will be broken down, and every shortcoming will be satisfied and surpassed. Do not be concerned, the Father advises. Cease your anxiety. Don't worry about it. All you need to do is believe that this is your moment. The Father declares that there is supply in me, and because you are found in me, there is no deficiency in me. Please don't worry about the future. Instead, focus on unpacking the resource that is who I am right now. You should ask me, what does this mean, and what must I do, whenever you are confronted with a challenge or experiencing concern. I am going to respond to you and enlighten you on powerful topics that you are not aware of. Refrain from attempting to figure things out. I do not have your mind in my head. There is a difference between my thoughts and your thoughts. You can find rest in me today, and tomorrow you will see the ships of sustenance anchored in the harbor of your required resources. It is both who I am and what I do, and at this very moment, all of my resources are concentrated on you. Having the faith of an adventurer is what the Father advises us to do today. I am waiting to take you higher, further, and deeper in my purposes, so do not be afraid of the unfamiliar. rather, embrace the unknown. I am waiting for you beyond the familiar. There are those in your immediate vicinity who will rebel against you and claim that you are making a mistake, but in reality, you are not making a mistake. I am the one who has already prompted you to turn in the direction that you ought to turn. Despite the fact that you are uncertain about the future and do not have confidence in the outcome that lies ahead for you, my hand is constantly guiding your life. My invitation to you was not to put your faith in a particular outcome, but rather to put your faith in me. In the same way that Abraham was able to resurrect Isaac from the ashes of grace, you should know that regardless of how difficult the challenge may be, I have guaranteed that your location will be blessed, provided for, and triumphant. The Father says, "Trust me, and then you should leave." Right now, you are entering a new hemisphere that is filled with favor and blessings. Put an end to your efforts to believe and simply believe. You need to take your focus away from yourself and others. You lack the intelligence and might to compete with me, but I am. When you are in the most desperate need of them, the people in your immediate environment in whom you have placed your faith will let you down. As humans, they are. There is room for error. Make sure you forgive them in advance. When you feel like you are falling, you should go ahead and forgive yourself and adjust your thinking about where you will place pressure on yourself. I am going to catch you. My name is your hero. I am the one who will save you and become your solid tower. Despite the fact that you are feeling defeated, discredited, and completely abandoned, you should not let go of your belief in me, since I am leading you to a whole new geography of provisioning, favor, and advantage simply by my hand. Today, the Father tells us not to be afraid. Fear not the trembling that has been visited upon the world. The kingdom that cannot be shaken is the one from which you are born. The Father reminds us not to be rattled, and we should not be dismayed, because I am with you. I am with you, and from the throne of my grandeur, I will give and bestow upon you every blessing that I have to offer. When it comes to my majesty and my favor, I am casting a shadow over you. It is not possible for a piece of paper or the malicious report of evil men to define the guiding principle of your life, especially when those men's nefarious plans are thwarted and stalled. The economy of my kingdom is the economy of your own personal economy. You are not dependent on the stock market, the price of a barrel of oil, or any other factor in order to make provisioning decisions. I determine the worth of your life and the blessings you have received by utilizing the economic indicators that are established in the skies rather than in the ground. It is possible that 10,000 will fall to your left and 1,000 will fall to your right, but you should not let this discourage you. You must not run away from the phony safety nets that man has provided for you, as they will not protect or preserve you. I am your shield and defense. I am the one who will guard you. Stop giving the people who spread fear the opportunity to make a profit off of you. To what are you currently listening? Listening to who are you currently? I will overshadow and nurture you until the storm is finished and you are left standing and entirely intact. Come into the high and holy place here beside me, and I will do so until the storm is done. Put your faith in me, tells the Father. Steer clear of relying on your own comprehension. Refrain from attempting to figure things out. I will get you to safety. Your power comes from me. You will never be disheartened or defeated on a single score, because I am the rock that is higher. I will never let you down. In this day and age, the Father instructs us to enter a state of complete dependence on me. Your safety is not dependent on any relationship, position, or opportunity that a man makes a false promise about. I will instruct you to place complete and utter reliance on the anointing that I have installed within you. The presence of that anointing is becoming deeply ingrained in your life and permeating every facet of your regular routine. In both the secular and the sacred, every single thing will be a part of the ministry. You should be aware that ministry does not start when you walk through the door of the church and does not end when you leave the parking lot. In every location and at every moment, I will make it possible for you to make use of the gifts that I have bestowed upon you. There will be things that fall out of your tongue that you did not learn from man. You are going to walk in a maturity that you did not bring about through your experiences. I will make you the bread of heaven, and the freshness of heaven will flow through you and down to others. I will cause this to happen. Because I am the bread that comes from heaven, I will make you and the person that I am within you the same bread that is consumed by those who are in your immediate vicinity. What I have placed inside of you should not be packaged and sold by a guy that you should not let to do so. They are going to come to your land in order to benefit from it and to spy on it. There is no need to pay attention to them, says the Father, just continue to follow and believe. If you are willing to take on the responsibility that I am putting in front of you, there is a net-breaking catch of ministry fruitfulness that is waiting for you in this specific season. It is not your own opinion or the opinion of men that you should trust, rather, you should trust what I am saying to you and about you. The Father has revealed to me today that I am putting the law of supply into action within you. In accordance with what I have spoken in my word, all things that are relevant to life and godliness are currently accessible to those who have knowledge of me. There is nothing that can be godly about being poor. To be impoverished or to be in a state of penury accomplishes nothing of my purpose. I will cause the treasuries of my promise to be opened because of your profound need, and you will witness an excess and bountiful supply in places where there has only been a shortage and disappointment. The tent poles should be stretched out, and the cables should be lengthened. It is imperative that you do not allow previous disappointments or experiences that have left you feeling bitter to determine the extent to which I am now prepared to move, pour out, and transform your life. You will be provided with supplies and provisions, not only for yourself but also for other people and even for future generations. Both of these things will be provided for you. When people who follow after you look back on your faith, they will see an example of what it was like to walk in newness of life and abundance of sustenance. You will leave a heritage to those who come after you. The Father promises, there will be no more poverty, since the burden of poverty and the vow of destitution has been broken over you on this wonderful day. You are not only a recipient of the prosperity that my kingdom has to offer, rather, you are a resource. In the past, you have only felt helpless and ashamed. Now, you are going to go out and control and reign somewhere else. I will remove your humiliation, says the Father, and I will make available to you the entirety of my kingdom so that I can fulfill all of your requirements in this life. In today's message, the Father declares that you are an epistle that was written by my hand. I will make sure that your days are written in my book, and now I will make sure that all men know about you and read about you. According to the Father, there have been periods of time and seasons in which there was obscurity and hiddenness, but this is changing. You are being proclaimed and enunciated by me as one who abides in the vine and gives forth in your season the vintages of my wisdom and my strength. I am proclaiming you and enunciating you. He who is the father of the husbandman must be the first one to drink deeply, says the Father. Therefore, in order for me to pour out my oil and my wine on a humanity that is parched and languishing, you must be the first participant. Take in everything that the Father has to offer, and replenish yourself, for I am the source of your power and your happiness. According to the Father, the depths of my spirit are crying out to you. Do not restrict the seashore. As you emerge from the tide pools of shallow experience, you will be able to encounter the fullness of my message as it actually occurs in your life. This is a promise that I will keep. Where is the hope of his promise? They have made the statement. What you should know, however, is that the promise that I made to you during the nighttime seasons will not be ignored. It is impossible for my word to fail because I am the word, and I am not capable of breaking my promise. Come into the realm where there is no failure or decline, for I am the place where there is no failure. Have faith in me, and be joyful. Put your faith in me and take brave action to obtain everything that I have promised and everything that you have the courage to think I am capable of providing. In this day and age, the Father instructs us to declare to the earth, and the earth will listen to us. You need only speak to the heavens, and they will pour down rain. In the same way that the heavens obeyed Elijah and it did not rain, the heavens will hear the sound of my authority in your voice, and they will respond to it. Even the least of you is greater than Elijah. Christ brings back to life all that was lost as a result of the fall. You have a dominion within you that was purchased with the blood that was shed at Calvary. Since you are the master of the elements, they will obey you because you are in me. It is predetermined that you will be a part of the company of the sons of God, just as the animals of the field and the birds of the air are waiting for the appearance of his sons. Now is the day for you. Those individuals who have refused to be content with the dried husks of religious death are now at the point in time where they can finally come out. The Father encourages you to take a stand for your sonship. Go forth as a bride, and remove the clothing that you wore to the tomb. You are not a widow, rather, you are a bride, even if you are the bride with many members. The process of polishing you and presenting you to myself without any spots or wrinkles is currently underway. Be willing to give up and be cleansed. Please surrender, and allow yourself to be purified and perfumed by the scent of my presence. In the event that you make my presence your top priority, the odor of the world and the odor of death will be eliminated from your garments. I have made myself available here, and I invite you, my dear, to come and discover the full extent of everything that I have in store for you at this very moment. I have prepared a spot for you here by me. According to what the Father has revealed to me today, the future that the adversary has attempted to create for you is not an accurate depiction of what I am bringing to pass in your life. It is all about smoke and mirrors and deception when it comes to the adversary. In reality, he is considerably smaller and less powerful than he gives the impression of being as he is. It is possible that you have the impression that you have cornered yourself into a situation from which there is no way out, but I have devised a route for you to leave, as well as an exit plan that leads to life rather than destruction. He says, "Trust me," and means it. Put your trust in me. Even when you are in the midst of darkness and insecurity, if you lean on me, I will make it clear to you that it is boundary light and yoke easy time. I adore you, my dearest heart. It is possible that you are a warrior who has been injured, and in this very moment, I will care for you, heal you, and bring you back to a state of completeness. Now is the time to simply relax and unwind. Be conscious of the fact that the evil that exists today is sufficient. For the next 24 hours, all you need to do is put your faith in me. The obstacles that tomorrow brings will be present, but guess what? Within the time frame of tomorrow, I am already trying to intend to do what I find to be of my good delight. It is impossible for those who have ridiculed you and marginalized you to exert any authority over you other than what you have given them. You are the one I am working with to bring about a hope, a future, and an expected end, says the Father, and you should know that you are the one I am working with. The spontaneous and miraculous result of your trust in me will be the outcome of what man cannot do for you and what man will not do for you. This will occur when you totally and completely depend with all of your heart upon my faithfulness in your life. This day, the Father has revealed to me that I am establishing new channels of communication with you during this time of year. For the first time in your life, you will be able to hear with a greater sharpness and see with a deeper insight. I have listened to both your prayer and the trembling of your heart. Neither have I turned a blind eye to your requirements, nor have I turned a deaf ear to your cries. Because you have chosen to align yourself with my goals and my kingdom, there is nothing that can be considered difficult for you. In accordance with what is written in the Bible, I give you permission to call upon me in times of difficulty, and I will certainly respond to you from heaven and provide you with a stipend from my coffers. I do not want you to be self-critical about the extent to which you contributed to the current difficulties in your life or the part that you played in the problem. I do not want you to accuse yourself of this. Please forgive, let go, and bless me. Have mercy on yourself. Relax and let go of the burden that you are carrying. I pray that God blesses the work that I am doing to understand your issues and provide a fast resolution. It is because I love you that I adore you. I want you to start walking in a bigger measure in the assignment of unconditional love because I love you and I love people around you without any strings attached. I love you. It is not appropriate for you to wash your hands or leave in a frustrated manner. There are times when the conditions appear to be intolerable, but I do not want you to give in to the pressure that you perceive to be the burden. Regardless of how it may appear or feel, it is something that is easy to do and a weight that is light to carry. I would like for you to have high hopes that you will experience healing and restoration in the future. That is the goal that I have set for myself, and I am working hard to make it happen on your behalf. The Father has spoken to you today, saying that your land will be referred to as wedded, and that it will be referred to as not barren. At the same time that I am bringing together large groups of my intercessors and my prophets across geographical, national, and political borders, I am also marrying the generations. I am marrying the continents. A prophetic company consisting of articulate fighters who have been anointed with the Holy Spirit and who will rise up and testify to who I am in the land is being raised up by me. They are going to defy the territorial spirits who have been contributing to the division of my people. They will defy the party spirits and sectarian attitudes that have prevented my people from coming together as a cohesive whole in order to break the yoke that the adversary has over nations and peoples. You are one of those individuals who have been called out and are destined to come together with other saints in order to expand the kingdom and engage principalities and powers in order to achieve a significant triumph on earth. A catch that will break the net is being prepared by me, says the Father. Make sure that your heart is ready to receive the invitation to assist and take part in a movement of my Spirit that cannot be contained in the worn-out wineskins of the present day. Make sure you are ready, says the Father, and get ready to be a laborer in this harvest. The prize that you will receive will be enormous. The Father has revealed to you today that your ministry assignment and your piece of the kingdom are coming together in your life. There is a celebration going on between truth and mercy. Your life and circumstances are receiving an unexpected promotion as a result of the pillars of my wisdom and my grace that are supporting you and serving as a source of elevation and promotion. The Father for your past is not a reflection or sign of what your future will look like, as stated in the phrase, "No more looking back." I urge you to adopt this day with a forward-looking attitude and a proactive approach to activating and walking in your gift. I call upon you to embrace this day. It is important to make use of your talent even among those who do not recognize it. I become visible to everyone who is in your immediate vicinity when you move in accordance with the gifts of my Spirit that have been bestowed to you. Therefore, make use of your talent even when you are in the public place among those who do not consider themselves to be believers. Your contribution will make it possible for you to establish a space for yourself as a principality and a power even in the town and region in where you currently reside in the year 2016. Consider the experience of being loved in terms of expansion, even exponential expansion in your life in the year 2016. Because you have made the decision to be a seeker of the kingdom and a delight to the Father, there are things that are being added to your life in terms of blessings and benefits due to your decision. Blessing will come, and yes, as the Bible says, with persecution. However, you must remain steadfast in your fidelity to the gift of God that I have bestowed upon you and placed in your life, because that is your assignment, and that place of faithfulness is where the airdrop of answered prayer is going to be directed in your life. I am opening your eyes and refining your vision, this is what the Father says to you today. My presence is bringing about a strengthening of the prophetic anointing in your life. It is my intention to make it possible for you to see with my eyes, even the eyes of my spirit, those things that other people have failed to perceive and continue to ignore. You will be able to see things from the inside out, and yes, I am telling you that you will even start to see things with your eyes open on a more rapid pace. Ask your eyes to be opened and see when you do so. Be aware that the adversary will provide you with a great number of diversions, but you must make a conscious effort to be a Father-pleasing person and concentrate solely on the things that I bring into the field of your spiritual vision. In the same way that I witnessed Satan fall from heaven, you will see the principalities and powers that are arrayed against you being thrown down to earth in their fury and in their failure. Those who are blind and who are leaders of blind people will caution you not to speak up about what you see. On the other hand, I claim that you should fearlessly and honestly tell what you see with your own eyes, including things that are yet to come. I declare that the anointing of Samuel is upon you on this day, and I assure you that not a single one of your utterances will be heard by anybody else. You are a member of a prophetic generation that is establishing a new benchmark within the realm of prophetic office and prophetic gifting in terms of accuracy and clarity. Because you know me, you should be courageous, and because you love me, you should be obedient, and you should remain teachable as I work in your day to accomplish something that has not been done in many generations. The Father has communicated to you today that I am bringing about a balance in your life. The alignment in your life is shifting so that you can receive a more profound tutoring in the things that my Spirit has to offer. During this season, I am forcing you to come out into the trackless billows of my purposes to new territory. Deep calls to deep implies that the Father is calling you to come out into this area. In this arena of my kingdom, the only thing that can serve as a point of reference for you is the presence of who I am in your life. There is no other form of safety. Do not be afraid, says the Father, since the things that you have clung to for safety are no longer able to accommodate that which reflects my plan for you. Keeping everything loose and stepping forth with confidence, not in your own flesh, but in who I am in your life and what I promise to come to pass as swiftly as possible, is the way to go. I have made commitments to you that are of an unprecedentedly great and priceless kind, and they will be the yes and amen that you take part in at this time. I assure you that not a single one of the wonderful things that I have promised will fail to materialize in your life as long as you continue to pay attention to what I have to say and do not allow yourself to be dissuaded or discouraged in any way. I will never abandon you, and I will never leave you. Therefore, have courage, says the Father, because I will never abandon you. Even though I instructed you to pray that I would not lead you into temptation, I will also make the way forward obvious to you so that you will be aware of the changes I am working on beginning today and will not be surprised by them. Neither will I mislead you. It is true that transformation is the banner that is being raised over your life, and the angels that have been assigned to you are working right now to bring about the final result of your biggest dream being fulfilled and your deepest heart's desire being accomplished. In this day and age, the Father tells you that you are not powerless. It is not a gloomy view at all. You do not lack a helper because you do not lack my presence and my strength. You are not lacking these things. The glory that I have placed within you is the same glory that was responsible for the resurrection of Jesus at the cross. The resource that Jesus drew from when he descended into hell and then returned with the keys to death and the grave is the splendor that I have inside you. Despite the fact that the adversary has come to steal, kill, and destroy, I have given you the ability to place your foot in his neck and remove the prey that he has stolen from his lips. Those who are righteous are as courageous as a lion because they are familiar with me and they are aware of who I am deeply within them. You are entitled to this, as the Father says, since this is who you are and what you are entitled to. It is my hope that you would come to the realization that you are not beyond the capability of bringing about change today. I consider you to be an initiator. I refer to you as a spark that ignites a fire. I am a fire that emanates from my loins up and a fire that emanates from my loins down, and the words that you speak that are filled with trust are directing that fire into your life. It is possible to undergo transformation. The ability to transform is available. It is now time for the move. It is important to keep in mind that love is unfailing in any circumstance. Love is the essence of who I am, and love always results in the return of greater love. Refrain from reacting with dread or amazement when the adversary diverts your attention with the cruel actions of those in your immediate vicinity. Take the plunge into love. It is love that is responsible for the mountain-moving faith that is already present within you to become active and to bring itself online in your life. According to the Father, this is the moment that you have been waiting for. Now is the period when everything will start to alter. You are about to enter a whole new level of ruling and reigning, so prepare yourself to embrace the change and become a part of it as you work together with me. In this day and age, the Father instructs us to declare to the earth, and the earth will listen to us. You need only speak to the heavens, and they will pour down rain. In the same way that the heavens obeyed Elijah and it did not rain, the heavens will hear the sound of my authority in your voice, and they will respond to it. Even the least of you is greater than Elijah. Christ brings back to life all that was lost as a result of the fall. You have a dominion within you that was purchased with the blood that was shed at Calvary. Since you are the master of the elements, they will obey you because you are in me. It is predetermined that you will be a part of the company of the sons of God, just as the animals of the field and the birds of the air are waiting for the appearance of his sons. Now is the day for you. Those individuals who have refused to be content with the dried husks of religious death are now at the point in time where they can finally come out. The Father encourages you to take a stand for your sonship. Go forth as a bride, and remove the clothing that you wore to the tomb. You are not a widow, rather, you are a bride, even if you are I, the bride with many members. The process of polishing you and presenting you to myself without any spots or wrinkles is currently underway. Be willing to give up and be cleansed. Please surrender, and allow yourself to be purified and perfumed by the scent of my presence. In the event that you make my presence your top priority, the odor of the world and the odor of death will be eliminated from your garments. I have made myself available here, and I invite you, my dear, to come and discover the full extent of everything that I have in store for you at this very moment. I have prepared a spot for you here by me. I am opening your eyes and refining your vision. This is what the Father says to you today. My presence is bringing about a strengthening of the prophetic anointing in your life. It is my intention to make it possible for you to see with my eyes, even the eyes of my spirit, those things that other people have failed to perceive and continue to ignore. You will be able to see things from the inside out, and yes, I am telling you that you will even start to see things with your eyes open on a more rapid pace. Ask your eyes to be opened and see when you do so. Be aware that the adversary will provide you with a great number of diversions, but you must make a conscious effort to be a Father-pleasing person and concentrate solely on the things that I bring into the field of your spiritual vision. In the same way that I witnessed Satan fall from heaven, you will see the principalities and powers that are arrayed against you being thrown down to earth in their fury and in their failure. Those who are blind and who are leaders of blind people will caution you not to speak up about what you see. On the other hand, I claim that you should fearlessly and honestly tell what you see with your own eyes, including things that are yet to come. I declare that the anointing of Samuel is upon you on this day, and I assure you that not a single one of your utterances will be heard by anybody else. You are a member of a prophetic generation that is establishing a new benchmark within the realm of prophetic office and prophetic gifting in terms of accuracy and clarity. Because you know me, you should be courageous, and because you love me, you should be obedient, and you should remain teachable as I work in your day to accomplish something that has not been done in many generations. In this day and age, the Father tells you that you are not powerless. It is not a gloomy view at all. You do not lack a helper because you do not lack my presence and my strength. You are not lacking these things. The glory that I have placed within you is the same glory that was responsible for the resurrection of Jesus at the cross. The resource that Jesus drew from when he descended into hell and then returned with the keys to death and the grave is the splendor that I have inside you. Despite the fact that the adversary has come to steal, kill, and destroy, I have given you the ability to place your foot in his neck and remove the prey that he has stolen from his lips. Those who are righteous are as courageous as a lion because they are familiar with me and they are aware of who I am deeply within them. You are entitled to this, as the Father says, since this is who you are and what you are entitled to. It is my hope that you would come to the realization that you are not beyond the capability of bringing about change today. I consider you to be an initiator. I refer to you as a spark that ignites a fire. I am a fire that emanates from my loins up and a fire that emanates from my loins down, and the words that you speak that are filled with trust are directing that fire into your life. It is possible to undergo transformation. The ability to transform is available. It is now time for the move. It is important to keep in mind that love is unfailing in any circumstance. Love is the essence of who I am, and love always results in the return of greater love. Refrain from reacting with dread or amazement when the adversary diverts your attention with the cruel actions of those in your immediate vicinity. Take the plunge into love. It is love that is responsible for the mountain-moving faith that is already present within you to become active and to bring itself online in your life. According to the Father, this is the moment that you have been waiting for. Now is the period when everything will start to alter. You are about to enter a whole new level of ruling and reigning, so prepare yourself to embrace the change and become a part of it as you work together with me. The Father has communicated to you today that I am bringing about a balance in your life. The alignment in your life is shifting so that you can receive a more profound tutoring in the things that my Spirit has to offer. During this season, I am forcing you to come out into the trackless billows of my purposes to new territory. Deep calls to deep implies that the Father is calling you to come out into this area. In this arena of my kingdom, the only thing that can serve as a point of reference for you is the presence of who I am in your life. There is no other form of safety. Do not be afraid, says the Father, since the things that you have clung to for safety are no longer able to accommodate that which reflects my plan for you. Keeping everything loose and stepping forth with confidence, not in your own flesh but in who I am in your life and what I promise to come to pass as swiftly as possible, is the way to go. I have made commitments to you that are of an unprecedentedly great and priceless kind, and they will be the yes and amen that you take part in at this time. I assure you that not a single one of the wonderful things that I have promised will fail to materialize in your life as long as you continue to pay attention to what I have to say and do not allow yourself to be dissuaded or discouraged in any way. I will never abandon you, and I will never leave you. Therefore, have courage, says the Father, because I will never abandon you. Even though I instructed you to pray that I would not lead you into temptation, the Father instructs you to command your eyes to see and your ears to hear what the Holy Spirit I am revealing beginning today and will not be surprised by them. You are not going to see the problem when you see with the eye of the Spirit. It is true that transformation is the banner that is being raised over your life, and the angels that have been assigned to you are working right now to bring about the final result of your biggest dream being fulfilled and your deepest heart's desire being accomplished. Today, the Father tells you, I love you, because I love you, because I love you. Never will I stop loving you. I promise. For me, love is not simply what I do, it is who I am. It would be impossible for me to stop loving you if I had to stop being who I am, and that is not going to happen. Therefore, you should stop waiting for the disappointment, failure, and trouble that is not going to make its appearance. Are you going to confront difficulties? Not a doubt, you will. Will there be obstacles to overcome? No situation in which I will not appear and demonstrate that my hand is powerful to save and that my sinews are strong to deliver. The Father encourages you to have hope. Encourage yourself. I have already caused you to move in the direction that you should go, so have the guts to do what you need to do. On the other hand, if you did make a mistake, I would spin it around such that it works in your benefit. The Father encourages you to go deeper. Stop relying on rationality and reason as your guiding principles. I am the truth that you are falling into, therefore allow yourself to fall into my favor without any restrictions. All of you are colliding with me. As you fall into my glory, you will be lost for all eternity to the things that this world has to offer. Those who seek first my kingdom and everything will be able to experience the beauty of holiness as well as the beauty of a life that is devoted to the pursuit of everything that I am capable of and will be. It is the Father who says, "Find yourself in me." Try to see yourself in the same way that I do, as someone who is blameless and unaccused before the very creation of the universe. When you gaze upon my magnificence, you will be able to perceive yourself in the same way that you were before the entire universe came into existence. The outcome is certain to occur. Take it easy. Have faith. Onward and upward. This is your time, and there will be no going back on this decision. According to the Father, you are going to get everything today. When you come to seek my kingdom first, everything else will fall into place. All is equal to all. There is not a single item missing. Put your faith in me to fulfill your desires. Please bring your requirements to me. Be conscious of the fact that I have imprinted the yearning for what I intend to offer you wholeheartedly into your heart. It is true that the adversary will make an effort to obscure my promise. Nevertheless, you should not pay attention to his misdirection. Instead, you should maintain your confidence and trust in me as I work everything out for the glory of my kingdom in your life. Despite the fact that the situation may imply that it is difficult and complicated, you should not agree with this attitude. You should not put your reliance in the manner in which I will carry out the tasks that I will carry out. Put your trust in the outcome because you cannot even conceive of how I will carry out the actions that I will invariably carry out in your life. You cannot even envisage how I will take action. Begin your life with the mindset that I get to have in my life what Jesus paid for on the cross. This is the simple way to approach your life. If you anticipate and insist that the cross will make a difference in your life on every level, you will notice a striking disparity between your experience and that of individuals who are in your immediate vicinity. It's possible that some people will falter and fail, but this is not your lot. It's possible that some people will settle for second or third best, but I encourage you to climb the tallest mountain and complete your journey in first class. When it comes to believing for the highest and best, there is nothing profane about it. Upon a throne made of emerald, surrounded by streets made of gold and gates made of pearl, I am the God who sits. What kind of destitution or impoverishment would bring glory to me in that particular scenario? Look up the words, loved and expect. Raise your eyes and give me thanks in advance. Resolve to the very depths of your being that you will seek my mind, my word, and my purposes with all of your strength, and that you will not be refused, turned aside, or disappointed in any way. On this day, the Father instructs us to forget about the past. The past is no longer relevant, tomorrow is almost here. You will not be held back by the past. On this day, I give you freedom from the past. In the same way that I will replenish, restore, and revive you with my splendor, there is no mark that man can place upon you that will not be erased by the kiss of heaven. According to the Father, the King is waiting for you to come to him. I invite you to come to me because I am breaking all of the bindings that have been placed in your life, and I am bringing you a newness of faith, character, and potential right now. The time has come for you to act. Obtain your right away. Embrace the moment you are in. Allow your present moment to wash over you as if it were a gift from heaven, wiping away every constraint, every scar, and every stigma that has been attached to your history. I call you beloved, and you are participating in the love and favor that I have for you on this day. Your chains have been removed. Your shackles have been detached. Get out of there. Exit the room. Take up your bed and enter into my rest because I am redefining what it means to be free in your own personal life. See yourself reflected in my eyes, which I am turning toward you at this very now. You are not going to be the same again. Your tears are priceless, and I have stored each and every one of them in the treasures that I own. It is from them that I will pour out the fragrance of my favor, which will erase shame from you and change and transform you. This describes both who I am and what I do in my life. Act as a recipient of my affection. Please accept my favor. Don't look back, and don't give it a second thought, for today is the beginning of a fresh beginning for you. Your life is not lived out in the visible, but rather in the invisible, according to what the Father has revealed to you today. This is because the things that are visible are subject to change. They are governed by the things that are not seen in my kingdom, which is your natural environment. Come behind the veil, says the Father, for I am the place where you will find your natural environment. Not only do you not belong in this world, but the world also does not have a place for you. You will find a spot here alongside me that I have prepared for you. Since I have ascended into the heavens, I have made a place for you, so that you can also be in the same place that I am. As a result, you should go from the I am dwelling of my throne. A visitation is not permitted at this location. You and everyone else who will follow you into the glory will be able to make this dwelling place your home. Would you be able to believe, receive, and recognize that this is your moment? You are escaping into who I am right now, not into who I will be in the future. As the Father says, I am your escape at this moment. At this moment, I am your resurrection. It is not the case that you are waiting for death to take you. You and I both have death as our adversary. The pact that you had with death will be broken, and you will be able to live instead of dying. Death will be put under your feet. The Father claims that you will not perish but rather live. Your life is my life, and my life contains the process of reorganizing, rebuilding, and redesigning everything, including your physical body. I am the source of your illumination and the well-being of your faces. I invite you to breathe in my presence and exhale the taint of corruption, infection, and the foolishness of the grave. When I look at you, I say that you are absolutely beautiful, and today I bring you to myself in a new way so that you can know me as your yes and your amen in every single area of need that you could possibly have. The Father instructs his lover to ascend to a higher level today. One can say that the glory world is a location of great heights where anything is conceivable. Bring into the realm of possibility. When you look into my face, you are looking into the face of love that has been personified, exhibited, and manifested upon you. Step up into the reality where I cause the deepest heart's desire to be spontaneously fulfilled. Go to a higher level. Please come and make your home with me, for I have chosen you. You are the one I pick, says the Father. I do not reside in the homes that were constructed by hand, rather, I pick you. My when, my where, and my how are all tied to you. Oh, my lover, I ask that you allow me to be the same to myself. Let there be no more waiting, I am your when. Your destination is me, and there is no place you have to go because I am here and I am now. I am your destination. I am the solution to your problem, there is no hidden procedure or performance that needs to be carried out. On this day, the door that leads to the realm of everything is possible is opening for you. Get out of there. Move beyond the confines of you. Walk away from the shortage. To recover from illness, walk. Since I am the God of time, this is the time for you to take action because this is the place where anything is possible. Your situation is not the result of a random occurrence. You are not susceptible to the influence of man or to the concept of causality. Right now is the moment for your kingdom come. Now is the time when I will have finished. Proceed into the glory. By allowing your heart to become as shaking as the doorposts of my throne room, you will be able to enter the glory. Imagine the smoke of my presence enveloping you, transforming you, and causing you to become and be recognized in the same way that you are known in my glory. This day, that is what you will become. In today's message, the Father asserts that the truth will always triumph over the falsehood. It is not required for you to attempt to defend yourself against the false statements that have been made against you. In spite of what I have spoken in my word, there will be occasions when other people will speak all kinds of malicious things about you in a false manner for the sake of me. There is nothing shocking about this new development. You will be loathed in the same way that I was reviled. With the same way that other people found fault with me despite the fact that I was faultless and without sin, slander and false accusations will make their way into your life. Be neither surprised nor astonished by this. Take joy in the fact that you are seen as deserving of suffering for the sake of my name. You should not respond once more. In front of those who opposed his authority, you should just quietly go about your business. You should be humble and show that you are a good model of meekness in every response that you offer. I will stand up for you. My role is to protect you. Have faith that I will guide you through every circumstance while keeping you safe and secure. Be conscious of the fact that I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. They will bring the identical scandal that they would want to instigate in your own life upon themselves. The snare that they set for you with their words will instead pierce them, for I am moving even this day to bring an end to the campaign of misdirection and hatred that is being directed against you, says the Father. Because my infinite spirit resides inside you, the Father says today that your spirit is the limitless of all possibilities. I am totally present, completely powerful, and completely knowledgeable. As a result of the fact that I shall not remain in confinement, I will give to you in your human soul as my dwelling the characteristics that cause me to be what you know me to be. I want to invite you, as loving sons, to pour out your life in service just as Jesus did when he poured out his life on Calvary. Jesus said, "Think it not robbery to be equal." According to the Father, the extent of your service is the criterion by which your sonship is evaluated. I refer to you as sons, and I refer to you as daughters. I refer to you as you cherished. It is my opinion that you are entitled. Because the answer to your prayers can be found in the affirmation and the affirmation of the positive promises that I have made over your life, I will not withhold any of the things that you have pleaded with me for it. You will no longer have to wonder whether I will respond to the cries of your heart. Therefore, the answer is the cross. Take a look and live. You will have a better understanding of the throne if you look to the cross. Take a look at the throne, and you will realize who I am on the inside of you. I am a fire that emanates from my loins up and a fire that emanates from my loins down, and I am the one who is responsible for the creative miracles that are transforming your life right now. Therefore, you should broaden your mind so that it can accommodate my thoughts, and you should also recognize how limitless my potential is inside you, as well as how I have caused you to be unlimited. Exhale all of the previous thoughts that you have about being sick, feeling discouraged, failing, worrying, or being afraid. Take a deep breath and try to comprehend the complete comprehension of health, strength, joy, and victory. I want you to make it a habit to constantly look forward, to always look forward to the greater things that I have in store for you because you have called upon my name and have put your faith in me. Today, the Father tells us that the war you are fighting is a war of words. In your life, the strongholds of mocking words against my promises are the strongholds of the fight of the kingdom and the strongholds that need to be brought down. Your conflict is fought by utilizing my word in opposition to the word of the adversary. The word of the adversary is also a word of death, and it is supported by the experience and knowledge of the senses. My words are words of life, and they are supported by the blood that was shed at Calvary. Take up the sword of my word today and use it to defend yourself against every occurrence in your life that is in direct opposition to the promises that I have made to you. The weapons that you use in your fight are not natural, and the intensity of your warfare is not measured in the decibels of your shouting or in the harsh, demanding assertions that you make. Because the strength of what is spoken is supported by who I am and what I have promised in your life, the person who talks with authority does not need to raise their voice in order to convey it. Consequently, on this day, you should come into the serene certainty that you are the child of the Creator of the universe, who is entitled to and adored by you. As I bring your circumstances into agreement with my promise, the Father continues, I will bring them into agreement with you as you come into agreement with me. Communicate with the elements. In the same way that I spoke to the fig tree, and it ultimately died, you should speak to the negative, the contradictory, and the paradoxes that exist in your life in relation to my promise. The things that the adversary has planted will wither and be uprooted, while the things that I have promised will take root and bear fruit that will create life that will continue forever. You are not a kid of vanity, rather, you are a child of my throne, the Father says today. Cast down your false imagining, for you are not my child. Both, my beloved, and, entitled one, are terms that I use to refer to you. The fulfillment of your rights is not contingent on your religious performance or excellence in moral conduct. My mercies will be sure to be present in your life, despite the fact that you have failed and fallen, and that you will fail again. Those individuals who engage in moralizing and pontificating, boasting about the quality of their moral character, have had their eyes gouged out by the hot pokers of religious blindness. It is not through the pursuit of religious nonsense that you will be eternally altered, rather, it is through the transformation that occurs when I show you my splendor and lead you to inherit my image in fullness in the earth that you will be forever altered. If you see yourself as I see you and come into my presence without any recrimination, you will be changed forever. The Father wishes for you to be imprinted with my image. Be a model of your Father as you go about your day and try to emulate him. As you go about your day, go out as a demon master, as a water walker, as someone who confronts the impossible and creates the feasible not by the efforts of man but through your unwavering confidence in who I am in your life. It is the Father who asks, do you trust me? After that, I will handle everything from here on out. My name is the hero. The fight is entirely mine. The enemy has been overpowered. There is nothing that can stop you from receiving the entire outpouring of my manifest essence in your life to transform, shape, save, heal, and deliver you. You are innocent. The Father says, today, I have placed before you a transformational vortex that transforms ashes into beauty, water into wine, and brings forth life in places where there has been nothing but death and the expectation of loss. The Father has told you that this is your moment. Your personal chronology, which is recorded in heaven in the archives of glory, is about to enter its fullness, and you are currently traveling into it. As of today, the pages of a new chapter are being turned, and the things that have been around for a long time are being discarded, never to be seen again. I am bringing you out of the confinement of things as they were and into a new season of an open heaven in a greater splendor than you have experienced up until this point. Forgive, release, bless, and go on because I am bringing you out of this confinement. You are currently being burdened by the weight of my presence over you. The whole extent of my favor will be witnessed and experienced by those seeking it. Rather than merely hearing the story, you will be able to taste and see my splendor as well as the powers that will be revealed in the world to come. I will provide you with a contemporary and a present experience of my fullness that cannot be judged by things that have occurred in the past. You will no longer turn to eons ago for signs and wonders because I will offer you this experience. I will be known of you and I will send out the depths of I am that I am in your life until there is nothing of the natural man that remains. Just the God-man reflecting my image will be seen in your land as my testimony bursts forth from your life without measure, declares the Father. You were not born by happenstance, according to what the Father has revealed to you today. Your birth and the moment of your birth are not the outcome of some random biological process. Your birth time is not a coincidence. Rather than merely being created, you were shaped and fashioned by my hand before the earth was ever built down as a foundation. Is it possible that Job did not witness the sons of God singing joyfully before the world was actually created? I pronounced you holy and blameless before me in love before Adam even took his first breath. I did this before Adam was even born. This judgment is mine, and it will not be overturned by any scenario, the views of men, or the outcome of any incident in your life. I will not let any of these things influence my judgment. I want you to be aware of this, says the Father. You are not behind in any gift. In the same way that there is nothing that is lacking that will not be provided, there is also nothing that will be provided that will not be sufficient to provide the response that you have prayed to me for. In light of the fact that I am not hard of hearing, there is no need to shout. Put your yell aside for the sake of destroying those who are wicked. Your shout should be saved for the celebration that will undoubtedly go place. Yes, you are free to dance in advance because I will never abandon you. I will never abandon you. I will never leave you destitute without answers, and I will never confine you by the lies of the enemy. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, my default response to you is yes. My yes has been given permission to leave the throne before you even get a chance to open your mouth and respond. Come to me, the Father instructs in a presumptuous manner. Please accept my challenge to put your faith in my love. Those who come to me must have faith that I am, and that I am the one who rewards those who seek me with diligence. You have sought me, says the Father, and you have sought me again, and you have sought me once more, and I declare to you now that I will be discovered of you, and you will not leave without leaving anything behind. Find what you are looking for, and you will find it. Knock, and it will be opened for you. Request, and I will respond with a provisioning that beyond what you can ask for, what you can conceive about, or what you can contain. Due to the fact that I am not a man, I should not lie, nor am I a son of man, thus I should not repent. As I have stated in my word, you will not be rejected from my generosity in your favor, nor will you be need to beg for bread. You will not be abandoned, says the Father, rather, you will be provided for as long as you pay attention to my voice, obey my directions, and prioritize my kingdom above all other things. I have called you to something that is not typical, the Father says today. There is nothing ordinary about it. Do you ever find yourself wondering why I made it necessary for Jesus to wait 30 years before he paid the ransom at Calvary? In order to explain to you what the concept of human normalcy was supposed to represent, it was essential for the Son to walk on earth. You are going to carry out the works that I have carried out in the earth, and you are going to carry out even superior works. Have you thought about this? Is this not sufficient evidence that my gospel is true? Use the phrase, as he is, so am I in the earth, to describe your soul. As I have borne the image of the earthly, so now I bear the image of the heavenly, you should say to your spirit. This is who you are, and this is who I am, on the inside of you each and every day of your physical journey through this world. An obstacle is going to present itself to you at some point. It is going to take me by surprise, but it is not going to take you by surprise. It is important that you are ready to utter the words that I set on your tongue and open your mouth with confidence. I will be the pillar of support for your spine and the source of the confidence that you exude. Even as I said in my word, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. You will not be moved, and the adversary, who is so steadfast in his purpose, will be driven away from you. This is your authority, says the Father, and it is not based on your religious performance. Rather, it is based on the sure mercies of David that have been poured out upon your life in the liquid form of the blood of Christ that has been shed for your justification, your redemption, and your empowerment in every circumstance. At this moment, the Father has revealed that I include a door of breakthrough in each and every window of vision. A vision of higher things and greater blessings has been presented to you on multiple occasions, and you have occasionally questioned whether or not it was merely a fantasy. I have shown you this vision. The plans that I have for you are so optimistic and so far beyond the scope of your experience that they defy description. You cannot plan bigger than I plan. You cannot conceive of a greater blessing than I am prepared to pour out upon you. In your greatest flight of fantasy you have yet to measure the depth of my favor, the breadth of my affection and the resoluteness of my purpose to bring about every good thing in your life that I have promised in my word. Enter this day into the work and enter into my rest, even the rest of God. For you see, says the Father, that my rest is not an action. Even when you enter into my rest, remember this, that my word that flows forth out of your mouth is constantly out there working. Your human soul, where my spirit makes its residence, never sleeps and it never slumbers, but rather partners with me in the heavenlies to rule and to reign and to subjugate all the workings of the enemy against you. Fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, I have made my abode within you. Fear not, for I will not let any of the things the enemy has threatened come to pass if you will listen to my voice, respond to my command and endure with patience until that just end I have promised is your manifest portion. The Father says today, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Your words proceeding out of your mouth are seeds planted whose fruits you will partake of tomorrow. If you don't like what's coming out of your mouth, then you will not be pleased with tomorrow holds for. I created the cosmos by my words. I did not create with good intentions, emotional sentiments, or intellectual resolutions. I formed the earth by my words and then ingrained into your being my image and my authority so that all creation would respond to your words as though they were my own. Open your mouth widely, says the Father, and I will fill it. As I am, so are you on the earth. My words in your mouth are even now efficacious to perform that whereunto I have sent them. Because my words are not void, your words are not void. Open your mouth and begin now to rule and reign in life, for this is your portion. Allow me to cleanse the contamination of the negative from your thoughts and from your mind. The negative was never intended to be equated with reality or truth. Whatsoever things are good, pure, perfect, think on those things, for they are the building blocks of that which I purpose to do in your situation. You will be called naive. You will be called unrealistic. You will be called foolish, but you are not foolish when you think my thoughts and speak my words. I create the fruit of the lips, says the Father. I give peace to him that is near and him that is afar off. Even though you may feel far from me at times, when you open your mouth and speak my words, I will draw you and bring you near to me beyond all your expectations. I declare to you this day that you are the one I'm working with, and this is your now season. There shall be delay no longer, for your blessing time has come. The Father says to you today, nothing external to you has any power over you. You are not subject to any circumstance or any situation or person that contradicts what I have promised to you in my word. The happenings that occur in the material world are simply observations made regarding that which I've given you authority over. I've given you authority, says the Father, even as I said to Adam. I commanded the very first man to subdue and have dominion. The dominion that was lost in Adam is restored in Christ. In your life, because you belong to me, ruling and reigning begins now. Ruling and reigning does not begin after death, nor does it require death, for death is my enemy. Did I not say in my word that the last enemy that would be put under my feet is death? And did I not say I would be sat down until the last enemy is put under my feet? What part of ruling and reigning is yet to be framed in your understanding, says the Father. Come to my table, beloved, and partake. I have prepared a table for you even in the presence of your enemy, and you shall be unharmed and unmolested, for my hand and my name is your defense. When my Son walked the earth, he demonstrated my standard for human normalcy. He demonstrated the human condition as I intended it, and then boldly proclaimed that you have inherited his name and will do greater works. Enter into the greater works this day. Expect signs, miracles, and wonders. Expect the unusual, the unique, the fantastic. Find moving in your midst to demonstrate my goodness and my strength in you and to you and through you in a greater measure than you have ever known, says your God. The Father says today, come into an understanding that I framed this world by faith. I looked into the chaos and into the darkness that was without form and void, and I spoke that thing that I desired. What man calls the Big Bang was simply the sound of my voice reverberating in the unformed chaos of pre-creation. I spoke and the earth came into manifestation according to the dictates of my expectations. This is the creative power that I have given to you, that I have given to every man, even the measure of faith to form, fashion, and transform the world around you. The very quantum energy of created reality is in your mouth, says the Father, as a gift from my hand. Reform your thinking from a mind filled with lack, poverty, and sickness. Your faith can only manifest that which is hidden in your heart, as I said in my word, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you don't like what is in your life, change what is in your heart and then open your mouth boldly to declare, and transformation will come. This is what it means, says the Father, to have the faith of God. Learn what this means, and weeping and sorrow will flee away, and joy and rejoicing will come as you partake of the powers of the world to come and see your life transformed according to the template of heaven come to earth. This is who I am, says the Father, this is what I do. This is my faithfulness that I have released to you, yes, and even made available to every man and woman if they will only call upon my name. Receive of my bounty. Receive of my goodness, for I am a good God, and I have good things in store for you beyond what you could ever ask or think. The Father says today that my temple is not a temple made with hands, my temple is built of blood and bones and flesh, even as you are. You are my temple, says the Father, and in you I choose to make my habitation. I have no interest in visitation rights. I am a God of habitation and not mere occasional blessing. I call upon you this day to render unto me full custody of all that you are, and all that you have been, and all that you will ever be. I am not a deadbeat dad, says the Father, I am not an absentee landlord, lo, I have taken up residence on the inside of you. I will beautify you with myself and surround even your grounds, the grounds of your life, with the fullness of my favor and my blessing. Say of your soul, says the Father, you get to have it all. You get to have it all, says the Father, because you have chosen to be a kingdom seeker. Even as I said in my word, when you seek first the kingdom, all things will be added. All means all, and nothing will be left out that pertains to life or godliness. There are those that have taught in my name that I have chosen depredation, lack, sickness, and poverty as your portion, but this is not your portion from my hand. If you being evil know how to give good gifts to your children, then know and understand, I will give, and I will bless, and I will release and impart to you every good thing that you have cried out to me for. Cleanse your mind of the less than mentality, and open your heart to the largeness of my spirit, and the measure of my generosity expressed in my highest gift, even the gift of my only begotten Son. This is your day. I call you a receiver, so open up your heart and receive of my bounty. Say of your soul, the Father's bounty is my portion and I will in no wise be turned away. The Father says today all things are possible, only believe. Religious thinking wants to limit that saying, says the Father, even as it does all of the unqualified faith statements found in my word. I say to you, ask what you will and it will be given you. You do not have to overcome my reluctance to move in your life because I have none. I say to you that I place no premium upon denial or refusal to answer the cry of your heart. The enemy of your soul has maligned and defamed my name as though I sit as Lord of the universe yet refuse to release those mere pittances that you ask me for. Did I not say in my word that it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom? Know this, says the Father, that righteousness, peace, and joy are yours. My righteousness, the blood-bought entitlement of heaven, is yours. I have put the signet ring of my authority upon your hand, and you need only display and invoke my name to see answers and deliverance come. So enter this day into a new simplicity and vision. Where there is no vision there is perishing. Come into a new simplicity of faith even as a little child who holds out his hand and cannot conceive of it coming back empty. I will not deny you, neither will I delay the answer. I will answer speedily, says the Father. That is who I am, that is what I do, so run to me, make a break away from the ranks of dead religion into living, vital entitlement as my son and my daughter. Aim high, says the Father, for where there is no vision there is perishing. I have not called you to perish, but I've called you to survive, and I've called you to thrive, and I've called you to ascend. Even as I said to Moses, see, I have made you a god to Pharaoh. Even as I said to Joshua, see, I have given you the city of Jericho. It is not wrong to visualize, for you are of that generation that will dream dreams and that will see visions, and I will cause those visions to become a reality in your life and shake the earth with the vitality of the spiritual strength and character that I am manifesting in your life experience. The Father says today that you are not worthless. The enemy has tried to tell you that you are good for nothing, but you are not good for nothing, even as I said in my word. I take notice, even when the sparrows fall, and you are of much more value than many, many sparrows, says the Father. Adjust your thinking and begin to see yourself as one for whom the purchase price of Calvary was abundantly expensed, that you might be brought out of the domain of darkness into the kingdom of my dear Son. I do not merely call you servants, says the Father, you are more than a servant, I call you sons. I call you beloved daughters. I call you that one upon whom I will dote and that one on whom I will pour out my favor, even my unconditional love. My default answer towards you when you cry to me is always yes. I have bestowed upon you the yes and amen, for you have taken shelter in my name. My name is a high tower, and those that run into it will be saved. So run into my name, says the Father. Run into my yes and my amen. The door is open and the way has been made clear by the purchase price of Calvary. I know that this is not what has been taught in the councils of the self-important and the uninformed, says the Father. Make it your purpose to be a father-pleaser and listen to my voice. I am calling you to my word and to come up out of a religious mentality, that you might begin to think the thoughts that the shed blood of Calvary made possible. Let my thought to become your thoughts, your purposes, and your pursuits. This is the romance of heaven, says the Father. I have not purchased you as a widow, but I have purchased you as a bride. Adjust your prayers this day, praying not as a widow to an unjust judge, but as a bride, one who is betrothed to her beloved, knowing that I will respond in full measure to cleanse, to redeem, to deliver and transition you in the highest heart's desire and greatest dream fulfilled.